So a bit over a year ago, I made 2 videos about Hollow Knight Silksong, and they did, I don't know, decently well, I guess. Since then, 2 Game Awards shows have come and went, and I gotta say, yeah, this show is sort of bland, soulless. Maybe I'm just getting older, but it feels so whatever. I give up. Shill Team Cherry all you want, but soon enough, you'll see what they really are. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm still feeling alright about Silksong, and I'm really excited for 2024 since this upcoming year is going to be massive for the indie game scene, especially when it comes to Metroidvanias, with 4 massive indie Metroidvanias set to release next year. So why don't we talk about them? Silksong, Milk Song, Silksoon! This is the game that started it all. The sequel to the game that started it all. When Silksong was announced in 2019, everyone went kinda crazy about it. I personally played Hollow Knight in 2021, so I've been playing the waiting game for 2 years now, and man, now that GD 2.2 is about to release, hopefully 2.2 is out by the time I finish making this video. It better be anyways. I feel like I'm finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. With 3 massive new games from Team Cherry, Extremely OK, and Supergiant all releasing next year, 2024 is really going to be the year of the indie game sequel, ain't it? Silksong has been almost done for, well, several years now, and after a somewhat dry spell in 2021-2022, aside from the second trailer, oh my god, there's been a little bit more attention as of late. Personally, after not seeing Silksong at the Game Awards, it does make me think that Q1 is a bit unlikely, but I do think that Silksong is coming pretty soon, definitely next year. The way I originally looked at Silksong last year was sort of as the next big indie Metroidvania, but after all this time spent, I think it's gonna feel a lot more thorough and detailed than a game like Hollow Knight ever did. Basically, what Team Cherry lacks in development team size, they make up for in sheer commitment and time spent working on the game. We always knew that Silksong was going to be a hell of a lot bigger than Hollow Knight, but after such a long wait, it's probably fair to expect that the variety, detail, and content density is going to be far above what we ever expected. A lot of my problems from the first Silksong related video I made still stand true, but I think I've come to a point where I no longer think of Silksong as the next Hollow Knight, but more so the maximum potential of the dream Ari and William, a team of devs who've been making Hollow Knight content for nearly a decade, really is. I don't think I have expectations anymore. I'm just excited to be blown away by whatever weird and wonderful things end up being in the game. Instead, there's a new game coming around that promises kinda to be a true spiritual successor to Hollow Knight. Crowsworn. This game's sick! Crowsworn is both quite similar but also quite different to Hollow Knight in a few ways. Both games have similar scope and premises, but Crowsworn's combat system is a bit more committal and also guns. I've been following this game for quite some time now, and my friend James, who you might have seen around, is a backer for it.
I have seen some people try and say that Crowsworn is a quote blatant ripoff of Hollow Knight. No.
One of the main reasons I'm excited for Crowsworn is because of all the new indie Metroidvanias coming out soon, Crowsworn is the most similar to Hollow Knight's atmosphere while also telling its own unique story in game. To those of you saying it's just a Hollow Knight clone, well, first, no, but second, yeah, I'm excited for more of one of my favorite games. One of my favorite parts of the recent Crowsworn demo was the Over Malice feature, which is an extremely good way to evolve Hollow Knight's soul system. I can see a lot of creative use coming out of this system. I'm expecting that Crowsworn will likely release late 2024 or 2025, but as of right now, they haven't changed the 2024 release, so I'm still lumping it into this video. There is one other smaller indie Metroidvania, Crowsworn's cousin, that flew a little more under the radar despite similarly looking quite promising. We know much less about Bow than the other games here, and that's alright. For Bow, similar to Silksong, there's not too much stuff to go off of. Bow looks cool with a noticeable focus on platforming more. This one's much more under the radar, so much so that a lot of you might not have noticed that there's a demo that has been shown off of this game, and it's pretty cool. I gotta say, I love this title screen. There's quite a bit of lore in this game already, which is really cool. Bow has moved into private beta testing, which shows that the game is already coming along pretty well. The game's been in development for probably around 3 years, and the most recent footage of it, I think, looks pretty darn solid. It looks like a combination of Hollow Knight and Ori, but with a completely brand new art style. I mean, seriously, this thing looks epic. The visual identity of this game is great, and the only thing holding it back, in my opinion, is the rigidity of the terrain being so locked to these rectangles. Some of the animations in the demo also looked a little slow, so hopefully that gets fixed up. One of my favorite parts about Bow is how many unique ideas it has, like a multi-screen size boss fight.
A little bit of Attack on Titan vibes. We have to scale. It's probably like 7 screens high. We're scaling up.
World elements dedicated specifically to platforming, and the awesome idea of resetting your double jump and vertical speed when you hit an enemy. Like, imagine how sick this would be if you had like a shade cloak type thing. Here, I'll demonstrate in MS Paint.
Okay, so basically, we got Bow over here. Let's make it mini Bow. That's squashed. Okay, so Bow is gonna be like blam blam, and then it's whoosh, blam blam blam.
Bow looks to have a big focus on aerial combat, which is absolutely fantastic. The team behind it plans to release in 2024, but I'm pretty sure no more specific release date is published right now. My completely arbitrary guess says Q2. Finally, the true masterpiece in the making. All of these games are great, but like, come on, Earthblade! So in case you didn't know, and believe me, a lot of you don't, Earthblade is the next game from Extremely OK, which has gotta be the goofiest name for a company ever, and I love it. These are the people who graced the world with Celeste, okay? They know how to make games. We really don't know much about what Earthblade will be like, but what you can expect is an extremely good moveset and an in-depth combat system. Also, apparently the game will suck on keyboards, so that's great. If you haven't played Celeste, one of the main draws of that game is that it gets so much mileage out of so few mechanics. Seriously, the tech in this game is unbelievably complex. Like, in what other game can you do a splipped droost? Whatever the hell that means. Because I don't know. So, Extremely OK. Very cool. Extremely cool. So now imagine a full-on Metroidvania with a huge level of depth to the exploration and combat. I think we're in for a treat. This is the game that we know the least about, even though it's from a studio that produced an extremely popular game already. But you can watch this one Q&A they did a while back when the game was announced. I have no idea if 2024 is actually the kind of release date they're gonna stick with. After all, I've been quite scarred by this. But still, this is just yet another great game to be looking forward to. So with all these indie games coming out, we have so much to be excited for. Homework will not get done in 2024, believe me. As for now, I don't know of any Metroidvanias or similar that just released, but if you're looking for a new game to play, Geometry Dash just got an enormous update. The Talos Principle just got a sequel, which I really gotta play this game, don't I? A Steam sale is currently live, and if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and play Celeste. Now, I know I said I would release this video a few days ago. In my defense, though,